are you? Hello, welcome to Those Yarn Rabbits. I'm Barbara. Thank you for joining us. This is little Maggie, Maggie May as I like to call her. She is our youngest daughter's kitty that she got to take down to school and is now living with us because she just did not like dorm life. She wanted a big house with a lot of other pets to play with. And she's a good addition to our family. She's got some sass to her. And wouldn't you know it, the dogs are coming up. So we got Phoebe and Fergus. Come here, buddies. Come here. This is my Phoebe. This is Phoebe. She is my St. Bernard Newfoundland. I can't say puppy. She's not a puppy anymore. She's 5 years old. And then we've got little Fergus. Okay, now you got to get out of here, dog. You're too big. And then we got little Fergus, who is my Westie. I have always loved Westies. Obviously, I've got lots of Westies behind me here. Always loved Westies. I've had Westies for a very long time. And just love the spunkiness of the dog. Although I will say that this dog in particular is probably one of the more anxious Westies I've ever had. Mainly because other than the cats, he is always the smallest dog. Oh, he's terrible looking. You need a bath, don't you, buddy? He's always the smallest dogs whenever we have our grand dogs and neighbors and friends' dogs over. He's always the smallest, so he's always trying to jump up and become the tough dog. And he's just a short little Westie. But I wasn't going to talk about my animals on here, but I'm kind of glad they all kind of came in, other than my bunnies. And I will introduce those in another video at a later date. So thank you for coming back if you're returning, if this is your first time catching me. I hope I offer you something that you like, and we'll come back again. This is Those Yarn Rabbits, a channel devoted to my own journey with fiber, knitting, spinning, weaving, crochet, various other projects that I like to do. You can go now. You can go lay down now. You don't have to stay. Yeah, you can go lay down. You gonna sit? You gonna sit for me? Sit. If you want to stay and be a part of it, you want to be a video dog, you can just sit. Can you sit down for me? Sit. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Oh. I think she's probably 150, 160 pounds maybe. I don't know. She loves being near me. Anyways, the video is a journey of all the different things that I like to work on. And some other side thoughts. You know, I am a lifetime Catholic, and so I will always put a little bit of my Catholic thought into things that I do. Today is January 10th. It's been almost 2 weeks since I filmed. This is the first video of 2024. So I want to talk a little bit about the new year, new focus. I'm not going to talk a lot about the projects that I'm focusing on for the year. I talked a little bit about that in my last video. So I don't really think I need to go into a whole lot of that. With a new year, there's always that opportunity and that chance to have a new mindset, a new focus on where we're going, what we're doing, what we want to do, what we want to accomplish. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I haven't done New Year's resolutions in a very long time, mainly because I find when I do a resolution goal, within a week or two, I'm not doing it anymore. So I don't worry about that anymore. Right now, what I'm focusing on is more just what's my mindset or my intention for the year going to be. And so as I was kind of, excuse you. As I was looking at different ways to focus for the new year, one of the things that I thought of was a nudge word, a word that I could use throughout the year to kind of help me focus on what I want to accomplish, what I want to focus on, and maybe just how I want to live. A nudge word may reflect your values. It can reflect your intentions. And maybe like your vision for the coming years, not so much a goal, but What's your vision, your overall arching way that you want to look at the world? So it's kind of a mindset, not really per se a goal. And so when you think of what nudge word you might want to have for the new year or for the month or the week or whatever it might be, I'm choosing the whole year. Think of a couple things. What makes you happy? What kinds of things are in your life, or people that are in your life, or things that you do or like to do that make you happy, that bring happiness, that bring contentment? What are those things? And do you want to continue? And how are you going to continue those if those are what you want? Another question, number 2, would be, what could you do better? Because we all could do something better in our life. I know for myself, lots of things that I could do better in. And I'm not going to go through any of those at the moment, but I'm still kind of pondering which ones I want to focus on for this coming year. And lastly, how's your health? One of the things as you get older that you find out is that your health really matters, and how you focus on your health, what you do for your health. Do you exercise? How you eat? What you drink, what you ingest, what you focus on, all those things that bring good health to you make a huge difference as you age. And the earlier you start focusing on your health and maintaining your health and getting yourself in a good state, I'm hoping that it's going to be better as you age. I know I'm a lot different now physically than I was in my 30s and 40s. I wish that, exercise used to come real easy. I never had to worry about weight issues. And being older, yeah, things change with your body. I have been doing a carnivore diet, a meat-based diet, since June of last year. I initially lost some weight, about 17 pounds I lost right off the top. It was great. I was so excited. And then I kind of stalled. Some of it was because I had grandchildren, and so we were even though we were outside doing a lot of things, running around, going to different parks and pools and lakes and stuff, my diet wasn't as carnivore as it probably should have been, and I like ice cream, so we ate a lot of ice cream and popsicles. So I kind of fell off that. When they went back to their mom and their stepdad, I went back to carnivore. I went back to hitting it really hard, really focusing on my health until the holidays, and pretty much lost it after that. I tried to stay as clean eating as I could over the holidays, but oh, hello, Maggie. Sorry. Normally when I try to film, I keep the door closed, but for some reason I left the door open. And so, yeah, we're gonna have some intrusions here. Be good, Maggie. Be good. What was I talking about? Oh, health. So start of a new year. My goal is, of course, to get a little bit clean, get back to clean carnivore living. So carnivore is, how do you define carnivore? You can define it as many ways as there are people following that diet. You can have it as strict as ruminant meats and water, and you can have it all the way up to like a ketovore, where you're doing a keto style eating habits and focusing mainly on your protein. I've taken the approach, one of the things that's worked for me so far since last June was beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. If I can focus on eating those 4 things and keeping those kind of the mainstay of my diet, and water, I seem to be able to stick to the cleaner eating as best as I can. One problem I find is when we go out to eat. And my husband and I, being empty nesters, we do go out to eat far more than we ever did when we had children in the house. Seed oils are very inflammatory, and every restaurant you go to uses seed oils, except for the very, very best ones that will make your meats and your meals with just butter. I have yet to really find a place that uses lard. I know there's some restaurants out there that do that, but very few places do it. When I was a kid growing up in the 70s, McDonald's made their French fries with lard, and they were so delicious, so delicious. I don't eat fast food anymore, and I know back in the 90s, maybe McDonald's switched to using seed oils. So their fries don't taste the same, and they're certainly not good for you. So no, I don't eat vegetables. Very, very, very few times do I eat vegetables. I don't even like the taste of a salad anymore, which I used to love salads. So I don't really eat a whole lot of vegetables at all. Fruits, I'm starting to kind of incorporate back into it because I do miss a good apple. I do miss oranges, berries. I love berries. So my carnivore lifestyle is kind of getting more into a ketovore. I do make really good homemade bread, and that's really definitely a no-no on keto or carnivore, but I do indulge in that a few times, which is why over the holidays, yeah, diet was a little hard to stick to. So anyways, my nudge word, back to the nudge word. Wow, I went off on a tangent, didn't I, girl? So nudge words are those words that come to you, or words that maybe you might find are repeating in your life a lot, that are helping. I don't know if it's God's way of telling us something that we should be following or listening to. My word that I've been listening to lately is connection. Who am I connected to? Who's in my life besides the pets, besides my wonderful pets, and my husband and my kids? Who's in my life that I have good connections with? Family, friends, professional work. Who are those people that I need to reconnect with? Who are those people that I need to make new connections with? I have been unemployed since February of last year, not for lack of trying. Doing interviews are tough, and they're humbling sometimes, and then sometimes they're just downright annoying. Some of the questions that they ask you and they want to know. It's like, I just want to learn a job. I just want to work. It was another reason why my unemployment was another reason why I'm doing the videos. The channel here is to kind of give me a focus, help me to, I don't want to say make money, because that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for a lot of different reasons. Would I like to make money on YouTube? Sure. Wouldn't anybody? That's going to take some time. And that's part of my intention for this year, is to find those connections that I need to learn how to do these videos better, to make them more interesting, to make them more entertaining, to help make them more uplifting for people, and to share my love of what I like to work on. I'm sitting in my craft room, stuff room, stash room, whatever you want to call it, workspace, workroom. We have a lot of stuff in this room. My husband's 3D printers over there. His printer supplies are there. There's so much stuff in here. I used to have everything downstairs, stuffed into 2 closets in the back room. And I know when one of my kids said, when they move out, it's going to be, you can use that room to put all your stuff in. I said, okay, that'd be a good idea. And this is one of the bigger bedrooms that we're in. And it's still not big enough. I still have stuff downstairs. Most of my craft stuff is up here, but I still have stuff downstairs. It's kind of sad, actually, because being empty nesters, Joe and I really want to get to the point where we can just take off in our RV and just go and purge yourself of all the stuff that we have in here. But when you have hobbies, it's hard. So I hope this year to get a little more intentional with my crafts. 2 years ago, when I lost my job in 2020, I decided that for a year or two, I was not going to buy any yarn, and I was just going to work from my stash. I've got a bookcase over here where a good majority of my hand-spun yarn houses and supplies for spinning. I also have a couple of cabinets around, where I have store-bought yarn and dyed yarn for various projects. So I was able to work on projects for quite a while, just using what I had in my stash. Now, did I always have the colors I wanted? No. So sometimes things didn't work out the way I wanted. Eventually, I wanted to work on things for my grandkids, so I ended up having to buy some more acrylic fiber, different colors that they wanted. This last summer, I made a sweater vest for my grandson, Beckham, who is 8. He picked these really bright 80s style colors for a little vest that he wanted me to make. He's 8, and it looked adorable on him. I got a picture of it somewhere. I'll have to try to post that somewhere. And then I made a pink sweater for my granddaughter, Aubrey, as well as her future stepsister, Bree. They both have matching little pink sweaters. They're so stinking cute. So cute. So that was kind of fun to work on. And then, of course, I've talked about the blankets that I've made for my youngest daughter, Bella. So I bought some fiber for that. But this year, what I really want to do is focus my purchases and my yarn spinning for projects, not just to spin, which is usually what I do. I just find some pretty fiber and go, oh, I'll just spin it, rather than thinking, okay, no, wait a minute. What do I want to make this for? And how thick do I want to make this? And what do I want to blend it with? And get a little more intentional. That's kind of an issue for me sometimes. I kind of just get excited about something, and I just run off in a direction. And then 6 months later, I'm like, why did I buy this? Why did I make this? I have a lot of yarn up there that I spun, and I'm like, what am I going to use this for? Which brings me to my weaving. I have found that the more I weave, the more I can use some of those yarns that are a little like, I'm not really sure how this would be in a sweater or an accessory, but I could put it in some weaving, and I think it'd be pretty. So far, it's turned out pretty neat. So connections, who can I get connected with to help me grow my YouTube channel and make better videos that are a little more entertaining. Another thing for the new year is caring for self. What can I do to improve my own health? One, of course, is to get my butt off the couch and do more exercise. Oh, sorry, that was Phoebe moving her paw down there. So setting any kind of goals with specific intentions. If I have a specific thing that I want to do, making sure that I know what steps there are to making those goals come true. We have a daughter. One of our daughters is getting married later this year. So, of course, I have a goal of losing a specific number of pounds, or at least getting down. I'd like to get down at least 2 dress sizes. 3 would be better, but I'd like to get down to that. I'm learning not to focus so much on weight, although that's still kind of ingrained in me that, geez, you could really lose 30 or 40 pounds. Yeah, I could, but if I could get down to the size I want, I wouldn't really care what my weight is, as long as I could get into the outfits I want. I think that's a little more achievable. So I'm looking at getting down to hopefully three dress sizes by the time the wedding happens this fall or early winter. The date's not been set yet. Caring for self also includes establishing or maintaining healthy boundaries in your life. Boundaries can make or break a relationship. And in my past, especially my adult life, having healthy boundaries has been an issue. Me not having good enough ones, and then when I do, dealing with the aftermath of trying to keep those boundaries in a healthy manner, and then trying to teach my children how to have those healthy boundaries. It's not what is healthy, what is not healthy, and trying to have those conversations without coming across like you're lecturing them. Because I am a trained therapist, I do tend to kind of go on sometimes when I get talking on a subject, and the kids, my adult children, never liked it as kids, and they don't like it now as adults. So trying to respect that, waiting for them to ask before I give my opinion on stuff. Another way to care for yourself is to cultivate mindfulness and nourish your body. Doing things with, again, back to that word, intention. Making sure that you're connected to, again, connection to how your body feels, where you are, what can you do to improve that. And then practice some self-compassion would be another way to care for self. Practicing that ability to be nice to ourselves and not be so critical of ourselves. Okay, drink for the day. Lots of podcasters, vloggers, YouTubers all talk about what the drink of the day is. I'm drinking this out of my brand new little Westie cup because, I love Westies. And my youngest son, Joey, he's been on a mission lately to buy me all kinds of Westie things. So this is the latest thing that I got. Super cute, super big. I am drinking a matcha latte. Very, very yummy. Just have about 1 a day. I can't drink much more than 1 a day. It's not as much caffeine as coffee, but I try. Matcha is one of those things where I got to have some sweetener, so I have some maple syrup in here along with the milk, and it's so yummy. So I hope you're drinking something good and keeping yourself fueled up pretty well. Alrighty, let's see. New Year. What else did I want to talk about for the new year? Looking at my notes, sorry. Oh, as I finished up last year, I haven't had a video out in a couple weeks because I've just been relaxing after the holidays, taking my time, putting my holiday decorations and things away. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was just yesterday, January 9th, that I finally put my Christmas things, boxed them all back up and put them back up in the attic. I like to wait. I tend to wait to put my Christmas things up until at least the 3rd or 4th week of Advent. This past year, Advent was one day, not even a full 24 hours. It was like 12 hours. So my tree went up sometime in the 3rd week. So I do try to keep it up through Epiphany. Our parish priest came by on Sunday. He was probably hitting, he had 7 more houses to hit after he hit ours. And then we were probably, I don't remember, 7 or 8 by the time he got to our house. And he came to do an Epiphany house blessing. I've done house blessings with my kids when they were really little, many, many years ago. So this is the first time that I ever had a priest come over. So thank you very much, Father Hake, for coming over and blessing us with that. It just makes my heart sing to think that my house is blessed for the new year. So I've been focusing a lot of my creative talents on some projects, weaving projects mostly this year. Obviously, my first finished project is what I'm wearing. I talked about this in previous videos, but I'm wearing the Tesoro sweater. Let's see if I can stand up and give you a little better vision of it. That's what the back kind of looks like. A nice sweater. Got like a sweetheart neckline here. Oops, I'm so sorry. Sweetheart neckline, 3/4 inch sleeves. It's super soft. It's got the 1x1 rib down below the bust on the way down. It's not too long, not too short. And then it's got the 1x1 rib on the sleeves. It's very warm, very soft. It's a little lower on my chest than I'm used to. So I'm getting used to it. I like it. I do like it. I have, I think I was looking through my closet. I have at least 3 dresses and skirts that I can put it with, that I can pair it with. So I'm pretty excited to be able to start wearing it. Some of the other sweaters that I've made probably 6 or 7 sweaters in the last couple of years. Some of them just, I don't know. A lot of it, I think, was the fact that I didn't spin with intention. And so the sweater I envisioned with my head as I was spinning up and knitting was different than the sweater that I got. This sweater came out exactly as I planned it. I did not spin this yarn. This yarn is from, I bought this from Lion Brand. The sweater is designed by Knititude. I bought it online, lionbrand.com. This is the Tesoro sweater. I'll have links down below for this. And I used the recommended Superwash Merino wool yarn that they recommended in the colorway Paprika. Great sweater, super soft. Couldn't recommend it any higher. Where was I going? Okay, another thing that I was working on. So I was really bound and determined to get this done, and I did. I got this finished a couple days ago. And then I went back and tried to finish up some of my weaving. This is a project that I started many, many years ago. Well, not many years ago, quite a few months ago. And it's a poncho of sorts. This is with my hand spun yarn, Ramadil? Ramadil. Is that the word? I don't know. I'll put it down below. What I basically did was made 2 panels. I wish I remembered to measure it, and then I didn't measure it. And what I did was I put the 2 panels, I put the corners together to make a V. And that V goes on my back, like this. And I got fringe down both sides, fringe down both sides of the V, which I really, really like. And then this I can either leave open, or I can throw it over my shoulder, or I can pin it with a pin of some sort. The I have them. Yeah, the fringe, I used a tool that I have. I don't think I've showed this to you before. I have a tool down here. Let me see if I can find it. That actually takes the fringe and twists it into like a braid. And this is from Shacked. And it's a twister. And what you do is you put your yarn in each one of these little alligator clips, and then you turn it around. You twirl it. And depending upon how many times you twirl it, will depend on how your fringe ends up looking. And I think I went 15 or 20. Now my fringe is not perfect. Sometimes I'm really good at measuring them, and other times I just wing it, because that's just kind of how I am. And Phoebe, you're back. Hi. Good girl. Okay, you need to move so you don't. I don't want you to knock my drink over. Okay, can you sit? Can you sit, baby girl? Oh, wait a minute. What are you sitting on? Sit, baby girl. Sit. Not on me. You're not a lap dog. You are not a lap. She wants to be a lap dog so bad. Okay, one of my, hang on. Okay, don't spill this. Go. Good girl. One of my other weaving projects involved our youngest daughter, Bella. As I've talked about before, she started college this year. And I did make her a beautiful beautiful blanket. But while she was home, she said she wanted a rug for her dorm room. And we talked about a couple of things, and I went and looked at IKEA and a couple places, and I couldn't find anything what she was looking for. So I thought, I have a loom. Let me make one. So I took some, did I bring the yarn up? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Sorry, hot mess. All right, before I show you you can see it on my lap, but I used Big Twist 100% acrylic in light rose and white for my warp. And then for the weft, I use Bernat Blanket. Yeah, Bernat Blanket by Yarnspirations. And I use this in the colorway, where is it? Seagull Gray, which is a little fluffier yarn than DK weight. It's not quite a heavyweight yarn, and I wish I would have gone with a heavier weight yarn to make it a little more squishy, or I probably should have done two passes with the yarn. But it's not bad. It is kind of soft. She likes it. She wasn't even sure that it was for her, but I did a pink and white stripes. I have to clean my fringe up yet. I still haven't cleaned that up yet. But I did. Let me see that there. And then, like I said, the gray going across. So you mostly see the gray, but there's also the pink and white on the very edge. Now, I made the initial rug as wide as my loom, which is 36 inches. I went the full length of the reed. I have a rigid heddle, 2 rigid heddle looms, but this is my bigger one. So I went the full length, or the full width, and I made it 80 inches. So it was 36 by 80. And I got it done, and I showed it to her, and she was like, yeah, I really like it. She goes, but is there any way it could be a little bit bigger? So I thought, sure, I'll add on another 18 inches. So I added on another 18 inches. Somewhere along the line, I wasn't paying a lot of attention, or I didn't make sure when I warped it initially, the second runner that I made to attach to the first one was about 5 inches short. Like, shoot. So I thought, well, then she can just have a short little runner for somewhere else. And so I did a third one, 18 inches, made sure to measure it correctly this time, made sure that it was the proper length, and it ended up the proper length. Problem is, she decided to go back to school early, and rather give her the ones that was 5 inches shorter, give her that one just to use in the meantime. I mistakenly gave her the bigger one. So I have these 2 smaller ones that I was going to attach to her bigger one, but I can't attach it because it's at the other end of the state. So now I'm like, I can either wait for her to bring that back and attach it, or I can attach these two together and then monkey with the edges so that it's, I'd have to cut the fringe off and just roll the ends under and sew those up. I'm thinking that's what I might end up doing, because I think that's going to make more sense, and it'll be different than the one that she has down at school now. That has the fringe on it. So we'll see where that goes. So those are my three finished objects that I have. So each one of those took some time. The rugs were something that I hadn't planned on working the last 2 weeks. So that was a lot of focus when I wasn't knitting this. That was what I focused on a lot. So the only other thing I have is works in progress. I did start, I'd say on the needles, but it's really on the hook. I talked about this last time, was started to make a bag for myself. I know January is traditionally, they call it, what do they call it? Selfish January, where you make things just for yourself. And so I'm making the modern knot bag. I've also heard this called the Japanese knot bag. And I got this at, again, Lion Brand. I bought a few projects from Lion Brand. I did use the recommended Lion Brand yarn from it, which is in the colorway. Let's see, this is Lion Brand 24/7 cotton. And this is the colorway Hay Bale. Excuse me. And I've worked on the first panel. You make 2 panels and then a couple straps. Pretty easy to put together. I am not good at crochet. I'll be the first to admit that I am not good at crochet. I worked on this all day yesterday. This is my 3rd attempt to make this. And you start at the bottom and you get up to the top. And you start with, what did I start with? 25 stitches at the bottom, and you increase up to 61. I did the first 20 rows. I was supposed to be at 61, and I'm at, I think, 46. I like the pattern. It did take me a couple tries to figure out the pattern correctly. It's a stitch that I've not done before, so I'm not as comfortable with crochet as I am with knitting. Knitting, I can read my yarn very, very easily. I know a lot of stitches. Crochet, not so much. I tend to stick to simple ones. So by the third time, I was finally getting the stitch pattern correctly. I'll show you a little bit. But I wasn't getting the increases. So I am unfortunately going to have to rip this all out and start again for the 4th time. And the stitch that I'm using isn't difficult. It is, I do a foundation double crochet to begin with for 25 stitches. And then I'm going to do a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet. You go back and forth between those 2 stitches. Front post double crochet and back post double crochet, which, if you know anything about crocheting, when you're crocheting, you're going kind of into the stitch horizontally. Sorry, horizontally? Yeah, horizontally. You're going into the stitch. But this I'm sorry, I'm seeing cat hair all over my thing here. With this front and back post double crochet, is you're going in vertically. No. Vertically? No, vertically, horizontally. So confused. The posts that are up, and you have these posts that are up and down in the previous stitch, and the crochet, the double, can't talk today. The front and back double crochet is you're going in around those posts from the side and then making a new stitch. And I really like the way it looks. It looks much closer to what the picture looks like than when my first 2 attempts. Still not sure I'm doing it correctly, so I'm going to watch a couple more videos later today to make sure I'm doing it right, and then try to figure out why I'm not increasing correctly. And I count. I make sure I keep track on the paper with my little stitch markers to make sure that I'm doing it right. And I also use I have several different row marker counters that I use for various projects. My newest one that I got is this one that I got on my finger, and I love this one. It is so stinking cute. I got this off of Etsy. Let's see if I can show it here. It is a teal color. And I got this from, it's a Knitter's Pride Mindful Row counter. I got it from Handsome Fibers on Etsy. I'll put a link down below. And each one of these numbers just changes depending upon, you know, what row you're on. I just find it really comfortable. I bought it a little bigger than my normal ring size. I wanted it originally on my thumb, which it does fit on that thumb, but depending upon how much salt I've had in my diet, a lot of times I have to keep it on my finger. So that's kind of my new tool of the day, is that I really like working on using that. So that's pretty much all I got for you today. The pets, other than Phoebe down below, oh no, Fergus is over here too. The cat has disappeared, but the dogs are still with me. The only other thing I had, let me check my notes here. Oh, one other thought I had about my intentions for the year. It was a quote that I got from Sean Cannell at Think Media. I've been watching a series of his videos with regards to how to make better videos. And one of the quotes that really caught my eye as I was focusing on how I wanted to structure the videos and where my mindset wanted to be making these. His quote was, "Being rich is having money. Being wealthy is having time." So I thought that was pretty deep, and it really does make a lot of sense. Being rich is having money, but being wealthy is having time. And when I think about my life, no, I've never had a lot of money. I've always struggled with money. But when I look for jobs that give me a lot of meaning, it's the ones that give me time with my family and time with my loved ones in my life that are the jobs that I like the best. Hence, led me to doing something on YouTube, trying to see if that is something that I could get to a point where my husband and I could finally set aside our 9-to-5 jobs and get in our RV and travel and have those experiences and have those time together. We're not yet ready to retire. Retirement is many, 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 many years together. I got a lot of silver in my hair. I may look older than I am, but yeah, retirement's a way away, but we still need to find a way to source our lifestyle. Our goal for both of us has always been zero debt, finding a way to have zero debt. It's really hard when you got 9 kids. There's always an expense with 9 kids, but that's our life. One of our goals is to have zero debt, to have that RV we bought last year so that we could go out and have our adventures, to live the lifestyle that we want to have. And eventually when we were ready to buy some land and settle down and grow our own food and have the kind of life together where our kids and our grandkids could come and spend some time with us as well. We don't know quite where we want to be yet. We're narrowing it down, but we're not quite there yet. My last thought for you today is, as I think about the new year, I think about the focus, my nudge word, connection, and caring for myself and caring for my family. Doing these vlogs is also to use the intercessions of our saints as a way to focus and help guide me as I go along. Asking for intercessory prayers from our family and friends is done in all faiths, most faiths that I know of, that you ask, pray for me, please pray for me. It's not any different when we ask the saints for prayer. Yes, can we go to God directly and Jesus directly? Yes, we can, but we can also focus on asking for our saints. I've got several patron saints. My name is Barbara, so Saint Barbara is one of my patron saints. Saint Bernadette is my confirmation name, so she's another one of my patron saints that I turn to when I need. And then I've got other saints that I have, reminders around the house that have some special meaning to me for my kids and for myself. Last November 1st was the Feast of All Saints. We're fairly new to the parish that we go to, and we went to the the All Saints Mass, my husband and I together. And at the end of Mass, Father was handing out little slips of papers with saints on it. And he said, this is, since it's All Saints Day, everybody gets a saint for the day for the next year, not for the day, gets a saint for the next year to pray to pray with, to ask for special favors, to ask for intercessions, whatever it might be. Who I got was Blessed Solanus Casey, whom I have had read quite a few books up on about him. And I'll put a couple links down below because he's got a really interesting story. Wonderful man. But the questions that I have for you on here with regards to Father or Blessed Solanus Casey, what does it matter where we go? Wherever we go, won't we be serving God there? And wherever we go, won't we have our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament with us? Isn't that enough to make us happy? Gives me pause to think, what does make me happy? How do I focus my life? How is the Blessed Sacrament a part of my life? And it's been a part of it more in other times in my life than it is now. So that's something for me to consider increasing. But the prayer intention that I was given for this next year was to pray for an increase in gratitude in your daily life. Now, I don't think that I'm an ungrateful kind of person, but for somebody just to randomly give that to me and say, you need to pray for more gratitude. I listen to those kind of signal graces when things like that are given to me. I don't claim to talk to God. I know that when a person is very true to their faith and keeps a good prayer life, that there will be times we don't always get the answer we want with our prayers and our questions, but we will get a direction. Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is you need to pray for gratitude more. So that's going to be one of my intentions this year, is to pray for more gratitude each and every day. As well as, what's the connections that I have with people to help me with the goals that I have and the intentions that I have for my life. Phoebe finally gave up and she's laying down, getting a nice snooze. Cat's taken off. Maggie's gone. Fergus is looking like he needs a nap or a bath. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you coming back. If this is returning, you're returning to watch again. If it's your first time, thank you so much for sticking to the end here. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. That really helps algorithms to pick me up and to get me seen a little more often. Consider subscribing so you'll be notified of when the next videos come out. And if you think there's something that I said or shared that somebody else would get something, a good benefit of, go ahead and share that as well too. That also helps me to get seen more as well. So again, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great day and find some peace today. Thanks. Bye. Okay, you got to move, Phoebe. Don't knock my cup over. Don't knock the tripod over.